Hey, Cardi, they're not even letting the sisters in tonight, girl. They're not even letting the sisters in at the front door. Now, gotta be all white girls. No black women. My husband played football. He didn't even let us in. We couldn't even buy a table. Cardi, I'm a That's how they doing us. They're not letting black women. None.
I didn't let some black women in here. Let the black women in here.
Yeah. No, they don't. No, they don't, Cardi. No, they don't.
Huh? Now let them in.
Let them in. Let them in.
Hurry, let them in.
Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Cardi.
1, 2, 3.
Fire.
1, 2, 3. I got you a bottle. It's the dust though. 1, 2, 3.
Let them in.
Hey, Cardi said let us in.
We let him in. We got to get you in first.
Let Cardi in.
Think about it.
Sir, you heard that, right? 1, 2, 3. We'll be patient. And I got you. That's not
Hi guys, so I just wanted to come and touch on this topic. I think this was earlier in the week. The announcement was made that Cardi had signed some deal with Playboy as a creative director, right? To become a creative director for them. I don't know if it's for what department it's for. It's for the magazine. I can't remember at this time, but so there was this event, I guess, in Miami. She was booked there, and her husband's group, they were booked as well. The only reason I really wanted to touch on this is because I was kind of disturbed by seeing the black women, which we didn't really see them, but I'm hearing their voices, kind of begging to get in. And I'm kind of wondering what exactly did they think was going on in there that was worth them, doing that. And I see a lot of other people with the same question, a lot of people in the comments saying as well, we're from certain places and we didn't know these things were going on. But I think that you can hear them saying that they did not want to let us in because we're black. So why would you continue to stand there? That's my question. But I also want to say that, because I hear a lot of narratives being pushed, and then I also hear some of these blogs, and I guess they're friends with Cardi, and they're trying to push this narrative that she kind of walked up like Moses to set the people free. She was very much aware that these people operate like this, number one. So she already knew that they were doing this. And then you kind of hear her say in another clip that I saw that this was about these guys' preference, which, it kind of goes into a lot of things, right? First of all, it's illegal to discriminate against people based on their race. And it don't matter what your preference is. Your preference, honey, is for your personal decisions of who you want to be with. You don't get to say you don't want a black person around you. You don't get to say you don't want an Asian person around you, or whatever it is y'all saying. And then the other narrative that I'm seeing pushed a lot is that these were white people. This is some type of white establishment. And to my understanding, it's not. And the conversation around racial race issues and racial tensions between the black community there in Miami and the Latino community or the Hispanic community, that conversation has been out here many times already over the years. And so this was not about white people. So for people who are trying to push that narrative, this place is not a white owned place, and if it is white owned, the promoters are not white. So this was not white people doing this, and like I said, she was very much aware that that is going on, and I can see from looking at the club flyers how people, like they were saying, that are coming from other places would see a black person on the flyer and think that this establishment is like welcoming to black people. But what black people are going to have to start owning is that everybody black is not for you. Let me say it again. Everybody black is not for you. So just because you're seeing a black person on the flyer, do not mean that they are going to let you in. Because see, what's happening is, and the black men that are on these flyers, they're being pimped as well, because if somebody's saying or have the audacity to put some ignorant mess like this in place where they're going to discriminate against a group of women, and it just happened to be the women of the group of people that you belong to, they don't like you either. But if they're gonna come in there and clear your pockets out, and have you promoting their club so other men can come in there, then that's what they're gonna get from you. They're pimping these guys, and obviously she's just this is boosting the ego of women like this, and so they're not going to speak up and have a problem with it, because she wouldn't have said anything if the girl would not have put the phone in her face, because the girl puts the phone in her face. I mean, you guys can go and find the videos. They're out there. And I think that she has friendships with some of these blogs, and so people didn't really want to address this properly. Your preference has nothing to do with the laws. You don't get to break the law and say people can't come in here on the basis of their skin color. But even with all of that said, that's neither here nor there. When people want to take legal issues with that, they should call Ben Crump and the John and Cochran law firm, somebody, and let them handle it. But the Grio reached out to the promoters, the Spanish-speaking people that run this place, and they said that they don't discriminate, but the girls were at the wrong door. So those women stood there all that time, and nobody told them that they were at the wrong door. All those black security guards stood there, and nobody told them that they were at the wrong door. Even Cardi B didn't tell them, girls, y'all probably should go to the front door if you're not on a talent's guest list, right? And like a lot of people were saying on Twitter, she could have took them in if she really wanted to. And that's true too, because she and her husband's group were hosting that night. So if she wanted to take people in, she could have. I am, I'm just more weirded by the fact that women continue to stand there. I wish they would not do that. You really don't want to go into places where people have made it very clear that they don't like you. That's not a good idea. It's really not. Especially these days. It's really not a good idea to go into places where you had all these black guys already telling you they don't want you around them. So if something happens to you, they're certainly, whose side do you think? They're going to take the side of this club. So they're not going to take your side. They're not going to look out for you. So you might not want to do that. And I understand, some people don't live in cities with celebrities, and maybe they get excited about that, stuff like that. But we all have these cell phones and all this stuff now, all this technology. you just kind of do your research and see what people are saying about the club. And even on Twitter, you can kind of put it in the search engine. And sometimes there are the stories and stuff like this one that's going to come up now. You know, this all this stuff will come up, and you'll see what people are saying about the place. Because yeah, I can see how people can see these black guys on the flyer and think that the place is going to welcome all black people, since they're working with black people. But it sounds as if the black guys, like I said, these certain guys that are going into this place, they are a part of wanting this kind of setup. Even though it is discrimination, you can have whatever preference you want. Um, I'm sure these places may have VIP areas. There are probably places that you can reserve, and then you set around whoever you want to set around you, but to say that you need a place to have discriminating practices in place in order for you to come in there, is what it is. And anyway, like I said, they're getting pimped anyway. The fact that you would even allow somebody, if they were the one who took this to them, allow somebody to talk to you like that, they don't care for you either. And I don't even think they respect. Even if the black men took this to them, I don't think these people respect them. At the end of the day, and if they were not if they didn't have these certain names and the ability to draw people into this club for these people, they wouldn't want to deal with them either. And so that's about self-worth, self-value, and that's definitely this generation. I hear people talking about LA. Like I said, I didn't go through that, going to clubs in LA. I never went through that. I went to clubs from Long Beach to Sunset to Studio City. I was all over the place all the time. I was aware that there were unknown, clubs, and there was one downtown LA that I think that became kind of popular, but it wasn't really open to everyone like that. But it was not race driven, right? It wasn't anything like that. And I don't know what happened to black folk, right? What happened to our pride and our dignity, but it was written. It's definitely all of this stuff, it's already out there. So, I mean, if these guys feel good about having these people set up some, place to discriminate against a group of women, then that's on them. But I just feel like the best thing that this generation can do, if you don't support this type of behavior, is take a mental note of the type of people that are doing these type of things. And also just take a mental note of these people. So when you see them on these flyers online and wherever, that that's probably not somewhere that welcomes you. And you might want to look into that before you go in there. We don't owe nobody nothing. You should never walk through life feeling like somebody has something better going on than you, or that you owe them something, regardless of how they're talking to you. Respect is earned over here. I don't owe nobody nothing, and you will get nothing. And I certainly would never support any of these people. I would, I don't feel any kind of way about this situation because like I said, I don't support any of these people. Anyway, I don't know of them, and I was never that person. When I was on the club scene who chased celebrities, I actually, in LA, growing up in LA, you're just going to see people casually anyway all the time, in different places. So it's not something that I thought of like that. And then, when you started to see this whole hustle of these girls wanting to hook up with these black athletes, I definitely was on my way out of the club scene. But I could see the type of behavior and the things happening. But I wasn't a part of it, nor did I want to be a part of it. And like I said, that by that time, all that stuff was happening. I was just kind of burnt out on the club scene. But I don't remember anybody discriminating against anybody on the basis of race. Anywhere that I ever wanted to go to, I was able to get into. Otherwise, I would not have went. Like, I wouldn't go nowhere and stand outside and wait for somebody to let me in. And that's on God. This was not new information to her. And she is also saying it, so she's kind of verifying that they are racist, because she kind of says it herself if you're really listening to what she's saying. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.